Wow, that was a bit of a bad start. And let's try this again. Delete. I can't spell everyone. Send. Okay, I just notified Discord. I'm not in setup chat. Oh, hello Mike. Hello Aaron. Just give me a second. I'm very unprepared, but there is a reason I'm streaming. I need to add that into here. Okay, and where's my logo camera? My logo camera has disappeared. Oh, it's back. Yay. Okay. Whew. You pinged me before Discord. Oh, YouTube. Oh, YouTube pinged me. Okay. Cool. I think. Okay, I want to tweet. Just let me tweet. Copy link. Live streaming on my second channel. Hey DJ Devon, come and join while I try to break YouTube chat. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. And I just need to add a thumbnail. Hey Johnny, hey Joshua. Okay, right, thumbnail. Okay. Okay, that's hopefully the tweet going out. Or not going out. Why is that taking so long to send the tweet? Oh wow, my machine is going slow. Okay, it worked. No, it's gone. No, it's there. Oh, what are you doing, Twitter? Okay. This is just... Hey, Christos. Anyway. I have a second channel that I do some unexpected streams on. And I'm going to be hacking the stream. And so to test what I'm doing, I need a stream running. And rather than doing it on someone else's stream, which is pretty not nice, I'm going to do it on my own stream. Logo is up. My code is not going to work. What? 4:50 a.m. Are you just getting up or are you just going to sleep? That's crazy. I'm not organized. I need to get organized. Wow, on my desktop I meant. I need to get rid of my API keys are fine. I need to change my channels and I need to just compile. Just got up, sipping coffee, yay. Bit early to get up though, but yay, sipping coffee. Okay, just waiting for this to compile. So I have a plan. Hey, Paul's Projects, I have a plan. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while. I started working on it yesterday and I got stuck. I couldn't get something working. And had a chat with Brian last night and he pointed me to some of his other code in a different library and I'm trying to get that working now. So well, it's not that I'm intentionally trying to break it, I'm just going to break it with what I'm trying to do. Not even hot coffee anymore. Okay, so let me explain what I'm doing. I had this idea. Okay, so some of you might remember, I used to run my logos and stuff off um, some Arduino code that was not using MQTT but was using Brian Locke's YouTube plugin. Hello, Mr. England. Hey, Rat Madness, Luminator. Ooh, lots of people. And so the problem with that was, although I did end up fixing it, there was a busted API key. The problem is that you have to register API keys, and you need to rotate them because they run out. Every API call, every time it polls the chat and everything else, you only get a certain number of uses for your API key every day. Is my volume loud enough? I'm not using the microphone, I'm just using my Mac audio. While you're visiting UK, are you not normally in the UK, Mr. Chris? I thought you were. Okay, volume's okay, good. Okay, so thank you for letting me know. So I was having problems with that, and with all the chat and everything that was going on, I was running out of API keys. And the other problem with it is to stop running out of API key tokens every day, because they reset every 24 hours, you have to pause every time you poll for a certain period of time to not spam it. And that meant that commands from chat weren't coming through quickly. Sometimes they could be 5 or 8 seconds delayed, and then it was just a nightmare to process them and everything else. Anyway, so I moved over to a Python script that isn't using the API, and it's just public facing script, so it just scrapes and it doesn't need API tokens. And that's what I've been using for the logo and for the talking and everything ever since, and it's been working great. And it's very fast, and it's very easy for me to hack it because it's just Python code, right? But the problem with it is because it's using the public API, you can't post messages to chat. You can only read the chat. I want to post messages to the chat remotely. And the reason I want to do that is I want to build a help system so people can type in !help and then say, and then it will post back into the chat all the help for how to get my computer to say stuff, right? All the same with !help logo and all the logo commands. So rather than what I've got on the screen, which I'm pointing to now, where it's got, TTS and logo and it's all on text, a bit hard to read and whatever, and not on every screen, I want to get rid of that and make it so people can just type in help in the chat and have it post back. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. Because the YouTube API supports that. It's called an insert. So I have been hacking again from scratch on Brian's YouTube API, but he doesn't have any support for that. And so I added support yesterday, but it didn't work. And then I realized that I need to use HTTPS posting to post the request to insert. And he didn't have any support at all for posting. He just does get on everything, because everything that he has implemented into the API is just a get request to get all the data back. So I tried hacking in HTTP yesterday and I just couldn't get it working properly, and there's some incompatibility with libraries and whatever, and had a chat with him last night and he showed me some of his Telegram code that does what I want. So I've been trying to get that working this morning, or the last half an hour, and it compiles now at least. It's not posting properly. And I need to test it. So I thought I'd start up a stream so I can test it, which is exactly what I'm doing. And so that is the plan. So I have a tiny Pico that is sitting on my desk that is running right now, some code. Let me just switch over to here. So got Arduino IDE. This is the code. It's called Chat Helper. And I've got, that's just his Telegram library, which is just on GitHub. And then, of course, I've got, where have I put my source code? Right, here it is. Too many windows just opened. That's really annoying. Hold on a moment. I have to close a whole bunch of windows because they're over my OBS. I can't see. Okay, so we're test dummies. Well, no, you can just watch me. I'll well, anyway, I guess anyone can test it, but it's not going to work. Not going to work. It doesn't work at the moment. So here is the output for the Tiny Pico, and that's just so showing the polling, right? So right now it won't print anything unless. So if I go help say, it'll grab that. See, it received a say from me, and it's posting to that URL and a body that it isn't posting for some reason. Now you moved to California. Are you in the States? Why did I think you were in the UK? I don't know. Okay. Well, anyway, hope you're having a nice visit. I'd love to visit the UK again. Been a while since I've been there. 1995 was the last time I was there. I'm just debugging my Windows desktop. I use it to info, so really that's always broken. Yeah. I'm guessing the name. I don't know what you mean you're guessing, but what I want to do, so there's a few things I want to do. I want to, firstly, I should be printing the JSON out, and I'm not. So, posting, and I want to print what I'm actually sending. And it should be printing the body, but I'm just getting a question mark. Hey, Michael. What up? Windows is a dog. Well, no one's fixing Xeon stuff yet, but, well, Xeon's fixing Xeon stuff. Yes, that double G is correct on the debug. Okay, so let me just make sure that I'm sending. So I think I know what the problem is. Let me just flash this. I think I know what the problem is, and but I just want to make sure that the JSON is correct that I'm sending. So you got to send it a JSON payload, and it's something to do with the fact that I'm sending it a post, but there is something URL encoded in the address, so it's kind of like a get and a post, and I think that's the problem. His examples for his Telegram bot only do a post to a specific URL where there's no additional request string on it, but this has the API key passed as the request string, as a request, and so I think that is the problem. Hey, Simple Electronics, how you doing? Hey, Devon's Workshop. Mr. California, but you live in England. Yes, that's exactly what it's like. Okay, so we're back in. Oh, interesting. It received the message again. Okay, so that's the JSON. Let's just copy the JSON and make sure that it is good. What? Really? What happened there? Okay, stop scrolling. Oh, I wonder if it's because I haven't quoted the whoops, didn't mean to do that. I'm exhausted, about to go to bed. Thought I would retweet you and head to bed shortly. How have you been? I've vanished from YouTube a bit lately. I've been good. Yeah, I need the quotes. That'll help. Yeah, I've been really good. How have you been? Like, how come you've been vanishing from YouTube? Just busy, or yeah, so everything needs. Okay, so let's go back to. That'll probably help. Okay, so where am I passing the JSON? I can't remember. Oh, right, I'm going to be passing the JSON in. Send message. So it's really, so the problem is the YouTube API stuff has no C or C++ reference. Contract professor and I actually have had a contract for the last 13 weeks, 4 more weeks, and back to being unemployed. Oh, okay. Well, back to being unemployed sucks, but right. Okay. What can I use single quotes? Like I know in Python I can, but I don't know if I can in we'll try with single quotes. But it's good you've had work. Okay, let's try that. You said double quotes. Really? Does it have to be? Python doesn't need double quotes. Stringify the well, it's not. It's not a JSON thing. I could do that. I could convert all. This is just a text string right now. I could actually create a JSON object, and then use that, and I probably will. I'll have to because I need to do different versions of the response. Single quotes will give you an error. Excellent. So I have to wait. Which way is it? How do I do a double? You could use those fancy raw strings. Can I pass a raw string directly into here? I don't know if I can. I don't think you can do the sprintf into a raw string, can you? Okay. But do I need, should it be a double quote when I'm doing this, or a single quote? No kidding, I've been fortunate enough to have a sponsorship deal on YouTube to keep me afloat between contracts. So you say back to being unemployed. Wait, I thought you've been teaching. So what happened to your teaching? Is it just because of COVID and stuff, or? God, this is annoying. I should have asked this before I went and put single quotes everywhere. Okay, so let's see if this works. Should clear the output. COVID hit a bit, college administration cut back on classes. Was wow. Sorry to hear, mate. Really sorry, but I'm glad you've had some work. Hopefully that'll continue. You won't be out of work for too long. Now, by the way, I don't even know if this is posting properly, let alone, I mean, sure, it's going to need correct JSON, but it might actually be posting wrong anyway. Okay, help, say. Oh, I hadn't even connected to the channel yet. That was really annoying. Why was it so slow? Okay, so. Got it twice because that's the other problem with this API is I got to tell it to skip all the ones that are there on boot. The JSON is malformed, probably. It probably is. I should just convert it to a JSON object now. I think that's what I should just do and stop trying to do it via this for the moment. I should be able to show this as JSON. Why doesn't it like that? Because there's no interest. Okay, if I look at the API documentation, which I've got to find again, YouTube message insert API 3. Here we go. So the payload is just HTTP. I've got it all the wrong way around. Okay, well that. Oh, okay, let's fix that. So it's a snippet. I don't know why I've got this backwards. I think I might have grabbed it from someone else's code. Okay, so snippet, and then it's live chat ID colon, and then the chat ID comma, and then it needs a, what's this, resource and snippet. Okay, I must have grabbed this from somewhere else. Okay, so that, and then we have a type, which is that, and then we have a text message detail, but text message event. Right, then we have a text message details, and then we have close bracket and so we have 1, 2, 3, and we don't need the part. So I think. Okay, catch you later, Simple Electronics. Have a good sleep. So open snippet, open that, comma, this, open, close, close, close. Maybe this will work. Maybe this will be non-malformed. We'll try this. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll drink cold coffee. Message is in open and close. Yes, the whole message is in an open and close bracket. Yeah. Once it prints out, I'll show you. I'd rather not do it all inside of one of the Arduino JSON objects. It's just messy and whatever, and I'm gonna have to calculate how much space it needs and blah 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 blah. I'd rather just do it as a string, personally. Yeah, I could do that. Okay, it should find an old one. Yep. Okay, still didn't. Well, it didn't work, and it still doesn't like the body. Oh, you. God, I hate when it does that. Okay. Oh, no, it doesn't like a bracket. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Yes, yes, it does. What's wrong with that? Oh, got the bracket in the wrong place. It's got to go there. And that's got to be a colon, doesn't it? Oh, no. No, that was right. Text message details. Remove underscore. Here. Okay, whatever. But that shouldn't make any difference. It's just text. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. Okay, that works, that works. So why does it not like this? Oh, I'm missing the message text bit. Fuck. That's what I'm missing. Okay. Wow. It's typical Xeon way of doing things the hard way. Missing an escape. Where? Slash. Oh, missing an escape. You're right. Thanks. Next. So, hey, Wagon Loads. So while we're waiting for this to compile and go through, not sure if you all saw yesterday, but I've released the waitlist for my my RTC logging shield. So you can go on the waitlist on my store now. And I'm going to start shipping them next week, except I've got no insert cards. I'm not going to be able to get insert... Wait. What don't we like? Ooh. Wow. It's not letting me... Not letting me push to the board. Mr. Loads, to you, Johnny? And Mr. Burgers. No, I'm not providing SD cards with those boards. People can get their own. I only provide them if people want on a Reflow Master Pro, because when you boot, it sets up the thing. I was going to ask how you get your insert cards made. Outsource or do... No, outsource through a printer, like on a digital press. I make too many of them. They're just too expensive to do myself manually. Okay, did that boot? It did. Okay, so let's try this again. Oh, actually, no, it should still be there, the old version. Okay, still no body. But, let's see if we at least got... Oh, God, this auto scroll thing, every time. Okay, so does that look right? That and that and that and that and then that. Okay, that looks right. Yes, Mike is my go-to spell checker and stuff on my cards. Always need second set of eyes. Okay, so that's... So assuming that the JSON is correct, then what I'm thinking the problem is... Yes, I will one day turn them around. One day. So I think the problem now is that when I do my make post request, so this is where I think the problem is, because I do a connect, right, on the API host with the port number, and I don't get a fail connection, and I'm doing a post. The problem is it needs to be going. Can I stick the request stuff as inside this connect, because this normally just looks for a host. So like, where's the rest of the stuff coming? So you can see here, what it should be doing is going to the domain and then this. It needs that at the end of it. Like about how sourcing my insert cards is I can't change them after the fact if I want to update something or fix a minor issue. Yeah, but how many are you printing at home? Like I go through an insane number of insert cards. Like so yeah, sure, you can't change them till the next run, or you throw away the ones you've got and you get them reprinted. But so the API host it's going to is here. That's the YouTube API host. No, it's the same, but there's a request string at the end of it. Posting to /. Oh, can I append it to there? Well, no, because I'm doing post and there's the command. Won't that get appended to this? But I bet you the /. I bet you it's a double / it's doing it. Because that's got a / at the front of it. See? I bet you it's a double /. So if I do post, if I get rid of that. Yeah, I couldn't print mine myself, and I can't do double-sided here. And the cost of doing them myself would be absolutely horrific. And then I've got to cut them all up. Yeah, no, I get mine printed. But I do it digitally. I don't do it offset. Offset would be cheaper, but I have to do a higher quantity. Yeah. But the hassle right now is it's a public holiday here today and yesterday. And I only finished the artwork on Thursday. Today's Friday. Sorry, Wednesday. Today's Friday. And so I can't even send them to my printer till Monday. And then I won't get them back probably for a week. Because they're going to be behind because of the 2 days public holiday. So, clear output. Okay, let's see what this does. This could be the thing, the /. It could be the double /. Nope. Still getting no body back, but that doesn't really mean anything because I don't even know what I'm supposed to be. Well, but it's definitely not writing anything into the chat, and it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be writing hello world into the chat. So I wonder what else is wrong with this. As I said, this is the way Brian builds it. I was trying to use the HTTP examples from the ESP32 to do it instead, but I couldn't work out how to do that. So it prints the command. Posting. It prints the JSON and it does this read answer. Oh, that's interesting. That's supposed to be an int. That's supposed to be the response code. But so in read HTTP answer, yeah, I printed JSON here. Oh, I'm printing. Oh, hang on. Jesus, that should be JSON. That there, right. Yeah, that would be a problem. Oh my God. That's what you get when you hack someone else's code into someone else's code, and the two bits of code aren't written the same way. I didn't write either of these libraries, right? And yeah. And the way Brian wrote his YouTube API and the way it all works is different to the way he wrote his Telegram one. The Telegram one's way more modern. And so I'm trying to shoehorn that into his old thing. Write a better API. You mean the YouTube side or the library? I mean, it's not, I didn't write either of them. I'm just trying to use them. Oh, oh, we got a reply. We got a reply. Credentials missing. Login required. API keys are not supported by this API. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Expected OAuth 2. Well, at least now I'm getting a reply. API keys are not supported by this API. Now that's interesting because yeah, I'm not doing OAuth. No, I'm going to give up on this instead. See, I don't know why they say that, because look, post, HTTPS, YouTube, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Oh, they also pass a part equals snippet there. And key equals your API key. Untick. Well, well, this execute won't do anything. Insufficient credential type. Try using OAuth. Right, so it's not going to work. Expected OAuth access token. But then why would you be passing the key? Oh, that is so freaking annoying. Oh my god, why? So I've been wasting my time anyway. Oh my god, that is just so fucking annoying. Send chat message. Endpoint. Part equals snippet, comma, not comma, and because that's what they've got on theirs. But it is a shambles. And then I thought of doing it all in Python, but then I have to run another Python script to do that, because I can't. And then if I'm going to do that, I can get rid of my public API one and just write it all as normal API in Python. But oh, what a disaster. Can you even do OAuth 2? Yeah, I could. Well, there's lots of. Well, that's the same as me doing it in Python, though, Aaron. That's the point, right? I do it in Node, I can do it in Java, I can do it in Python, but they're all not something I can run on a microcontroller. Like, I want this to just be a tiny Pico that just sits there running, always connected 24/7, sits there polling to see if a live stream is live, and if it's live, it connects to it and dishes out the help if needed, and then potentially can do other things, right? I didn't want to have to run it on a computer somewhere, ideally. Like that's the thing. I don't need to. I can use my own OAuth. Is that the issue isn't the credentials. The issue is none of these libraries have any OAuth support. Like, yeah, it's I don't know why that first one fails. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to come up saying I think the issue here is that it's not waiting long enough for a reply. It would make sense that that's not waiting long enough. So in this make post request, in this read HTTP answer, support for my get recent subscribers, edit OF2 support for my get my recent subscribers by when was that? Oh, it's not in there. It's a PR. How long ago was the PR? Does it say? Where's the dates? Oh, 2017. And it's not been added, so I don't know why it's not been added. So this is supposed to be random Google search found that. Let's get Brian up to speed. Oh, he's asleep at the moment, so that's not going to help. It's crazy that you have to do a wait like this. There must be a nicer way to do that. Wait for response. Still, yeah, I don't know. Like, look at all the commits he did. Well, 6 changed files. Yeah, this looks pretty. This is pretty substantial change. That's probably why Brian hasn't done it. I don't blame him. Don't blame him. I don't want to deal with OAuth. Gosh, that is so annoying. So there goes, like, 6 hours of right, yeah, there you go. That was a long enough wait this time. Yeah. What's the message? Yeah, nah, not happening. Unless there's a simpler way of doing it. Arduino auth 2. Just look how many steps it takes to get OAuth working and tell me that it isn't. Oh no, absolutely it is. We need to know. Oh my god. Yeah, I think this is going to be a I don't want to create one. I want to log into one. Forget it. Not going to happen. Okay. Not going to happen. So we can't do it. So I'm left with doing it in Python. There'll obviously be a library for Python for all this stuff. That'll be, I mean, the OAuth stuff, or get someone else to write it. Aaron, who volunteered already to do it in Node, in JS. But this isn't going to happen. Or I can handball it back to Brian and say, hey Brian, do you want to get OAuth working? You never played. Careful what you offer, Aaron. It's going to be a bad rabbit hole. Yeah, see, you can't do it with 555. That's just incredible. And I don't think Brian's got anything else here that has OAuth in it. Yeah, so oh, cool. Brian's got a stack of sponsors. That's great. He deserves. A lot of people use his libraries. A lot of people leverage his work. So it's good that he's got so many sponsors. Although I have no idea if he's making any money. He's 87% towards 33 sponsors. That's a weird sponsor goal, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the end of that. That is so disappointing. So disappointing. Oh, I thought that would be a really cool thing to add, to have support for. And it's just, yeah. So are there any Python, YouTube, API, OAuth 2? Mike, you should add sponsors, sure. Python YouTube API tutorial using OAuth to access users. I want to Python code examples, YouTube data API, Google developers. How to automate OAuth 2 in YouTube data API. Is there a simple solution like create a dummy YouTube account that is only sub to you? Scrape the dummy account. No, this has nothing to do with the users or authentication. This is being able to type it, to send a message into the chat, right? Like I want a bot to post to the chat. So if someone types in help, the chat window prints the help out for everyone to read in the chat window. The issue is the posting into the chat. It's not who the user is. It doesn't matter who the user is. It still has to authenticate with OAuth, unfortunately. Does YouTube allow bots that post to chat? Is that a thing? Well, yeah, it's part of their API. What do you mean, does it allow? It's part of their API. You can use their API to post. It's called an insert, a message insert. Yep. When you say do that, they allow bots. They don't specifically know where they're coming from. I'm calling it a bot. but it could be me pressing a button manually that posts a message. Like it, you know, it could be from a web form or whatever. Like it doesn't have to be a. I'm not sure that thing. You know what I mean? Like the bot bit's kind of, I think, irrelevant. Oh, cool. That's not even in English. Española. And if I change it to English, it's gone. Wow. Just looking at the Python stuff right now. I mean, if I'm going to do this in Python, I'll redo the whole thing, including my public API stuff that processes everyone's commands right now. Like I'll do it all in one, but it's going to be a much bigger project and a from scratch thing, right? Because I don't have any code. Like at least with Brian's library, I've got not only his example working code, but I've implemented it myself previously before I moved over to MQTT. So Discord will have the same problem. It still needs to be able to, the bot will need to be able to authenticate to be able to post. Discord seeing the chat and reading it, I've already got that working. I've got a Discord bot that I don't have enabled at the moment. Because it's not been converted over to use the MQTT stuff, but that can, sure, but posting back is a problem. What I mean is it subject to limits? If you post multiple messages at once, will they ban you for being a spammer? I don't know in terms of the posting like that limits. I don't know, but I can time that out myself, right? Like if this was the Arduino code running, I could make it that it'll only post a help response every 10 seconds if someone types help. So yeah, I mean I can get around any limits if there is one, and it's the same as when I read. Every time I post, if I post a message which then returns me a list of messages, then that's the same going through the keys, right? So I'll have the same normal API key rate limiting issues that I have anyway by reading the chat. But yeah, in terms of spam, I don't know. Like I don't even know if they'll like what gets posted. They might realize it's from something automated and block it. Who knows? But I'll never know if I can't post. So, hey Greg, I know you probably want to roll your own, but Nightbot is a common off-the-shelf solution. It supports handling these kind of help response things. Nightbot. What's Nightbot? I don't really want to roll my own. I just didn't know how else. Nightbot is a chat bot for Twitch, YouTube, and Trovo that allows you to automate your live streams, chat with moderation, and new features. Natural customer spam commands, chat logs. Oh, interesting. Sign up, join our bot, ready to go. Yeah, I didn't know about this. Is it paid? I mean, it's cloud-based. Does that mean they're scraping all of my data? Does moderation, but also that. Okay.
You're trying to get an ASP to read chat and respond to certain queries.
Yeah, I've already got it reading the chat. That's not a problem. I want it to write back. Yes. I want it to post into the chat. That's the problem.
Probably open source self-hostable bots.
I don't particularly care where it's hosted, as long as they're not scraping, well, my data. But I guess, I mean, they've got to scrape it to be able to parse it. I guess they know what they're doing with it. But doesn't look like it's paid. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. If it's cloud hosted, they'll want my money. Eventually, they'll want the money. You're right. Exploit me in some other way. Yeah. Love a good exploitation. Extensive API documentation. Do not use the O2 flow for securely authorizing requests to our API. Much of these relation docs have been adapted from Google. Make a keyboard hack that types into your window. Yeah, that'll only work if my window is focused. Yeah. Not very robust way of doing it. Commands, custom commands, spam, subscribers, timers, song request. Okay. Anyway, it's something to think of. I was just hoping that this would have been much easier. That, I mean, it would totally make sense. Totally make sense for Brian to add OAuth to his API, and then you get full access to the API. So that'd be great. I wonder if I can convince him. I wonder if I can twist his arm. Maybe I'll have to throw some money his way. I think it would be a good addition to the library, but yeah, the chances of getting him to do that is, yeah, unlikely. On a scale of 0 to 100, chance of getting him to do it, 1. He's got no time. He's yeah, he's busy. He's about to renovate his kitchen. They're about to have no kitchen for ages. Show that PR that's been raised. It doesn't compile. So I'm going to have to merge the PR and then fix whatever's wrong with it to get it to compile, and then hack in all of my changes that I've made. Because Brian doesn't have any support at all for not only for posting, but for also sending messages or any API for that either. So I've had to roll all of that in already. So it'd be a significant amount of work to try to even get that guy's OAuth stuff working. I don't know. I mean, he wrote it, so that was PR'd so long ago that I don't even know how much has changed since then. Or, yeah, I don't want to go through. It's bad enough I'm going through 2 lots of Brian's code to get this going. I don't want to have to now go through a third person's code on top that I know is broken to try to fix it. Yeah. Especially when C++ is not my strong suit, as we all know. Although it's getting better. Ooh. And I've been watching lots of C++ tutorials. Shock horror. But to try to just get better at my C++. But yeah, no, not trying to fix someone else's code. Nightbot looks interesting. It looks quite in depth to kind of understand. I'd have to look at what all their examples are to see, not API reference, but actual proper examples to see how easy it is to do stuff. Brian's library, the way it works is you give it the channel, the channel, or in my case, I pass it an array of 2 channels because I've got two different channels I stream on, and it looks for any active live broadcast and then joins it if it finds one, and if it doesn't, it just keeps looking every whatever. So it polls the YouTube API to say, hey, do either of these channels have a live stream going right now? If so, give me the ID so I can join it, and then it does that, right? And then you can scrape it. So that part, so that the device can just sit there indefinitely, right? And I've got a rotating 2 API keys to try to have it not run out. I mean, obviously the MQTT stuff works easier and better. Yeah, geez, I find it hard to find the time to watch a lot of tutorials these days, especially ones that, you know, like I've probably, so I'm watching the Cherno. I don't know if any of you have seen or heard of. So he's an Aussie, and the Cherno. Okay, he's an Aussie.
I'm standing for this code review.
Whoops. And he used to... I've actually met him a couple of times. You might not remember. He's game dev. He used to work at... or became EA. What was it called before that? Monkey what? Something whatever. So Tony Lay, a friend of mine from way back, who started a game dev company here. Oh God, I can't remember what it was called. Which then got bought by EA, and so he was one of their lead devs on at EA. And he left a little while ago, and he's got like stacks of all these C++ tutorials, and they're really, really damn good. And he's an amazing coder, and whatever. But he's now got his own company making a game engine, or he's making a second game engine called Hazel. And he's, man, smart guy, or whatever. Anyway, I've been watching all of his tutorials, but like I've watched like 50 of them so far. Like he does them in snippets, whatever. But like I've probably done 7 hours, 8 hours of non-stop tutorials. Finding that time to do that, headspace to remember it all, is just hard. The C just goes straight over my head. So used to the web and too old now to hold the concentration required. Yeah, but it's really hard to develop in Arduino /platform.io /RDF without C++. OAuth is for making apps. For example, when you sign into something with some other account, then it can do stuff with your account. Yeah, I know what OAuth is for, but still. So anyway, if you haven't seen his channel, really, really good. And not just tutorials, but like he's writing, he's got a ray tracing series. Like his game engine is pretty full on, like does full, well, it's got ray tracing support, it's got like full 3D, 2D, it's got whatever, and he's basically written the whole engine on streams and videos, like added Vulkan to it, and he's got like hours and hours and hours of footage of how he built Vulkan stuff, right? I'm better at unplug. I'm better at watching tutorials than I am reading tutorials. I can't read tutorials yet. In one ear, out the other ear. Or, you know what I mean? Like I can't retain it. I get easily distracted if I'm reading with videos, especially if there's small snippets. But this is I'm logged into a different account right now. So let me just switch. You can't even see that I've watched any of these. How funny is that? Oh no, I don't want to switch account because I'm streaming. Whoops. Okay, don't do that sound. No, I didn't mean to do that. Anyway, like you look here, like he's got no. I mean, full on. Like how many tutorials he's got in this C++? 100 tutorials. like insane. Yeah, anyway. He's also got a very particular coding style, and but he'll show his style and show other styles and explain why he does things the way he does it and whatever, which is pretty good. But yeah, anyway, it's great. I hate the tutorials that are done in mime. What do you mean in mime? What? How do you mime a tutorial? Why I'm making a game engine. Crazy. Like his latest one, like this, I don't want to, let me just turn the volume down. It's really, I mean, look at the stuff he's got his engine doing. Like interactive, look at that. Anyway, and he goes through all the code, and all the code's open, and you can download it. Like his engine's just all public, like it's open source. He's got people working for him now as well, and I don't know what his end goal is financially for the engine, but it's pretty amazing. I don't even know what this video is for. Anyway, whatever. Just think of moving away from MicroPython if time permits to become more competent in C++ or horses of course of time. I hardly use MicroPython or CircuitPython at all right now. I don't do a lot of coding, just in general. But the code that I am doing for, like, basically the only real coding I'm doing outside of Python on the desktop or whatever is firmware for my boards and my products. And pretty much all of that requires Arduino firmware. So, I mean, the fact is 90% or more of the people that use my products are using an Arduino platform IO, not CircuitPython or MicroPython. Well, that's kind of not true. I mean, obviously, pretty much all the boards that Adafruit sell of mine, you know, people who could be using CircuitPython. I don't know. I would think very few people are using MicroPython on my boards at the moment. But yeah, I'm not really doing a lot with any of the Pythons on my boards. You know, and some of them I can't, like my tiny I2C, like the counter and clock, which can't release until I got the firmware finished. It's all has to be C++ because it's all on a tiny 1606, which obviously is too small to run MicroPython or CircuitPython. So you know, yeah, I have to live in C++ land, and with Master Pro is C++. So yeah, and a lot of my dislike on C++ is just lack of knowledge. Like, it's frustrating to get stuff done. Much slower iteration times. The whole, you know, I mean, it's nice sometimes that you get compile errors before you deploy, but then you got the whole deploying and trying to fix bugs and debugging and whatever. Yeah, Rust is up and coming on microcontrollers, but that, to me, that's even worse than C++. Not as a language, as a syntax, but as a, you know, it's another language to learn, and it's still going to be, you know, it'll be around for a long time, but, you know, it could take 10 years or more, if ever, for it to become ubiquitous and you know, and really challenge the dominance of C++. Does an ESP32 have enough processing power to link to a 10-inch tablet screen and make it work as an oscilloscope? No. It's a 10-inch tablet screen. How? HDMI? No. You can't do HDMI on an ESP32. Not without dedicated extra hardware. And why would you do that with an ESP32? Like, you need a computer to do that. Or, FPGA. Like, you look inside an oscilloscope and they're running an FPGA. They're not running a microcontroller. We need to get back to assembly coding. Not really. I'd prefer not to. I was never good at assembly. Like, when I was learning assembly, that was on my Commodore 64. Learn assembly, program in BASIC. But yeah, you need a dedicated screen driver, hardware driver to do that. And you definitely couldn't update the pixels fast enough, I wouldn't think, from the ESP32 to really do what you want to do and also process at the same time. So yeah, no, an ESP32 is not a good choice for an oscilloscope. Hey Thomas, did I make any progress? No, I didn't make any progress on my LoRa board. I went straight into manufacturing my, as I said, just pull it out, my RTC logging shield. So I made my first batch of those, and then I sold it up and I did all my testing on that. And yeah, it's working great. So reading SD card data, and I've got it, I've got some code. I'll post it as an example code on GitHub eventually, that puts the ESP32, puts whatever board to sleep, and then uses the RTC interrupt pin to wake it up periodically, which is all working well. So I've validated all the functionality of the RTC. So I've built my first bunch of that. So that was more important than getting the LoRa board. Keep working on the LoRa board because there are people waiting for this. Are you intending the logger board to work with the LoRa? So I don't think it's going to. The logger board is using too much I/O. I don't believe there is enough free I/O to have the LoRa board work with it. If I add all the functionality that people were asking for on the LoRa board, like the ability to shut it down and stuff, like it all takes I/O, and I don't have enough spare I/O. So yeah, that's going to be. But I have to say, I have to map it all out and kind of see what's left. But I'm committed now to what I/O I'm using on here. And it depends what functionality you want. Like the clock output from the RTC on this board is disconnected by default. So on the Tiny S3, it's I/O2, and it's disconnected. So that's I/O2, something that could be used, but there's a jumper on the back. And if you solder that jumper to connect it to the clock output, if you want clock output from the RTC, and I'm using I/O2 on the LoRa board, then it'll break and it won't work anymore. But you only need 2, excluding power. For the LoRa board, for UART communication, sure, but people are saying they want the ability to shut the LoRa board down, power to the LoRa board to save battery. Well, that's an extra I/O. That's 3 I/O. And I know, like 3 hour. Hang on. So let me just. Oh, that is not. What? Let's go to make a shop. What do I spell? Unexpectedmaker.com. What's happened to my website? Wow. Is my website down? Can anyone get to my website? Oh my god, it's down. Works for you? Not working for me. Ooh. Now let me try. It could be a Safari bug. Let me try Chrome. Oop. Don't want that to happen. Right, it's working in Chrome, so it's a Safari bug. I just updated to the latest Safari yesterday, and yeah, it looks like there's a bug. Wonder what that is. Anyway, so what I wanted to look at was, so that's the page for it. So I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 5 IO free on the logging board. So 3 IO if I just do the UART on the LoRa board, but having the ability to do power, so that's 2. So technically 2 IO free. So I might be able to wrangle it all in, sure. I'll have to see how I go. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe I need to restart Safari. I do have a lot of Safari windows open. Windows and tabs. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, probably 13 Safari windows open. So I don't know. Maybe there's a bug with that for some reason. Oh, now it's working. How funny is that? Now it's working. Yeah, that's a Safari something. Or a DNS or a something. Cache something. There you go. So now I don't need that one. But, the point is, yeah, I could probably get it working. I'd like to, if I can. But I've only got, as I said, a few IO free. And like, for instance, 21, I don't believe can be remapped for the UART or for... and it's not an RTC IO, but yeah, anyway, yeah. And on these positions here, 21 and 5 on the Tiny Pico, they're the DAC pins. So I like to keep those free in case someone wants to do audio. So yeah, it's a problem. I need to build a board with more IO. I know. I think I have one. It's called the Pro S3. That's got more IO. Look how much IO that's got. So much IO. So much. Yeah. And it's compatible, so that will work with the LoRa. It will when I make it, and it'll work with all my other shields. It's fully Tiny Pico compatible. Okay, anyway, that's that was a tangent. So yeah, I'd like to get them working together. We'll see how I go. That is my plan. Pro shields. Well, I've actually got a dilemma at the moment. I was chatting with Mike about it. I haven't done anything yet. So I'm out of my LCD display shields. I don't have any panels. I need to get panels made. And I've got them in my shopping cart. But I thought that taking the opportunity, because I have to reorder panels, is that I could enhance the board and add a bit more on it. Like what else could be useful on this board for people that use them. And I thought about buttons, and I thought about putting a stemmer connector on it. And everything I put on it has to go on the back. I don't really want to make it a double-sided board. I could, but I don't really want to make it a double-sided board. But I did come up with a couple of design options for this, but I think I've caved, and I'm just going to go back to making it as it is, because it's going to make it really long and hang over the antenna and make it hard to get to people's fingers when it's plugged into a Tiny Pico, or a tiny board, but would work fine on a Pro S3 as a longer board. So yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of torn. And then of course, if I put buttons on it, that's going to take up IO, and then which IO, because what if someone wants to use one of these with a logging shield? Well, they'll be screwed because there'll be incompatibilities because of the buttons, and then if I have to stick jumpers on the back to enable disable the buttons for people, and then it just becomes a nightmare of combinations. So no, I've not thought about an e-ink version, not as a shield. There's plenty of e-ink boards out there, and people have made adapters for my boards. Like Larry has got a stack of things that he's made for e-ink that my boards plug directly into. There's quite a few projects that use Tiny Picos or Tiny X compatible boards on e-ink, so there's no point in me making one. Having to source them and then, there's always going to be someone that wants a bigger one, a bigger e-ink or a faster e-ink or a multicolor e-ink and whatever. It's just too complex. So, I'm happy for other people to make stuff with e-ink for my boards if they want to, and they can make them and sell them and whatever. I'm always happy to stock other people's boards if they want. If people don't want to make stuff and sell stuff, or if they want to make stuff and sell stuff and they want a hand, I'm happy to be a reseller of theirs and resell their products. But it's not something that I don't have time to, there's only so much time I've got and so many things I can work on at once. And as it is, I'm working on too much at once right now, obviously, because I have unfinished product that I can't ship and new other ideas that are half developed that I can't finish because I'm still trying to get on top of all the old stuff that I haven't finished. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Yeah. It's a little logger, but as I said, no cards. So I either have to wait a week and a half before I can ship the first ones. The SP30 S3 does not have any DACs. No DACs. Or I ship them like this without cards, but they're digital anyway, right? So it's not the end of the world if I don't ship a card in it, but I'd like to. Yep, they didn't provide any DACs on the ESP32 S3. So, yeah. There's a few things missing from the S3, but there's also a lot of stuff on the S3 that isn't on the other ones, so, Okay, so I've been streaming for an hour and a half and got nothing done. Thanks very much, OAuth and YouTube. For new users to discover. What? Oh, is the community page somewhere that consolidates all community compatible shields? Not really. I mean, I started doing this, but most people don't ever contact me. tinypico.com. Oops, not viewing it. So on the add-ons page, I've got a couple of things to add to here I haven't put on that. And I was listing third-party boards, but no one else ever said to me, because a lot of people make stuff, but they don't necessarily sell it or whatever. Knock off early and get a haircut. It's a public holiday. Hairdresser's not open. And what are you saying? Are you saying that my hair is too long? You say... You probably add a link on the Tiny Pico site linking to the S2 and S3. Yeah, this all has to get remade. And that's another thing on my list that I'm never going to get to, is I want to consolidate all my web stuff, which is all over the place. I don't have time. It's never going to happen because I don't have time. And every time I've got a new website to put together, like for my S3 boards, right? I think to myself, okay, now I need to consolidate everything before I do this. And then I look at how much time it's going to take to consolidate and how broken everything's going to be. And stuff it, I'm just going to make another satellite website. And so I keep doing that, which makes it worse and worse every time. At this, I just see, yeah, the S3 can access anything over I2C. It's not a limit. But there's no limits on what the ESP32 or S2 or S3 can do. Like, you can communicate to anything over I2C or SPI or however. Sure. And to be fair, the DACs on the ESP32 aren't the best, so you can get much better DACs anyway. Yeah, and the ESP32 can do I2S already. So it can talk to an I2S amp, no problem, which obviously my audio shields, I2S audio shields, I've got an I2S audio amplifier on there, as well as an analog one for the onboard speaker. So yeah, they can all do that. yeah, as I said, the DACs are only 10-bit, and they're not. I mean, they were fine, but people that want really good DAC output would normally add an extra better DAC externally for their project. Or just PWM. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap it. I'm offended, Mike, about the hair. You think it's too long? I'm going to keep. I have to keep growing it or cut it. Keep growing it or cut it. Like cut it all the way back to how I used to have it, spiky. I don't know. Some days my hair's good, some days my hair's bad. I can imagine. You've still got your beard. How's the beard going? Is it long enough that you can brush it over your shoulder yet? Anyone here read Brandon Sanderson books? I'm reading his the Cosmic stuff, the Oathbringer, Radiant, or what's it called? Whatever the series is called at the moment. I'm up to Rhythm of War, his third book. There's a race of people in his universe that are called the Thalines, and they all have extremely long eyebrows that they wrap over their ears, like it's like yeah. Anyway, it's such a bizarre thought that how old and distinguished you are is how long your eyebrows are and where you drape them. You've been waiting a while still, Joshua. Don't hold your breath. Try designing my own ADC using a 555 output and a comparator. 555 for everything. Beard and chest hair. I can't do a beard. It just looks terrible on me. But also I hate shaving. So, yeah. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to go... I think I'll just go home. Or I might do a bit more tidying up downstairs. I don't know. I'm really struggling with the tidying part. But, thanks everyone for the help on getting me to the point where I can't get any further. Much appreciated. Yeah. What's the time? Oh, I get to go home just in time for my mother-in-law to pop around. Yay. I might go get some lunch first, I think, if anything's open. As I said, public holiday, but I'm hungry. Not had breakfast either. So thank you all, and hopefully I will see you all next week on my stream, which I have no idea what I'm doing, as usual. No idea. Yeah. Okay. Catch you later, everyone. Take care. Where's the ending thing? Oh, there it is. Bye.